Jamie Stewart, Stewart Associates and Exeter University.
Correct.
Thank you for talking to AIM Practice Video today. We're looking at industry and academia and the collaborations of them working together.
Yeah.
Is it always a good thing if I'm an academic to work with industry, and does industry always want to work with me?
Gosh, that's a good point. For my world, in terms of a consultant, I actually see a huge amount of benefit from collaboration with academics, actually. The biggest issue for me is actually the translation of the conceptual academic into practicality, usability in industry. So if I'm selling as a consultant to my SMEs, to whatever ideas and concepts, they like the idea to come from a university base or an academic base, but it's that translation, I suppose, is the key issue. Sometimes it doesn't translate as easily out to us in the industry, I suppose.
Right. So if I'm an academic, what would a university offer to someone like Rolls-Royce or IBM? You know, how do I know my offering is a good one? I'm going out as an academic into industry and I'm knocking on their door and saying, well, try me.
I think the key for me is to understand what my challenges are, my issues, if I'm in industry, or if I'm also talking to industry as I do as a consultant, but sometimes with an academic hat on, is actually, do I understand the needs or the challenges or the issues? Rather than just trying to sell me a concept which I have really no idea about, I need to understand how does it link into my issues, my challenges, I suppose, in that sense. So that's the biggest challenge for academics, is to hear my problems, I suppose.
And are your problems always related to that word profit? Or might you actually be concerned about social solutions too? Because there might be a conflict in the relationships that academics might think, well, I'm working for the public sector, I don't want to work just for profit.
Yes, the relationship piece certainly is key in terms of the social aspect, I suppose. When having to work with other people, it is hugely important in how we get on together, how we work and collaborate together. So it's not just hard, fast tools, I suppose, it's some of the people stuff. One of the tools that I've been part of in the programme is looking at partnering, and in terms of the mindsets in partnering. And a lot of that is about the relationships and what we bring into a group and how we collaborate together, whether we're academics and or in industry. And that whole piece of the relationship piece is absolutely key in terms of how we function, how we get the best out of it. It is probably related to profit at some point, but can you name the return on investment straight away? No. The understanding is if we have a better working relationship, yes, we move it. It should hit the bottom line somewhere.
And is it, you mentioned the word moving, which I'll pounce on there, but do you have to manage expectations and promises? How do we know, that we're all headed in the same direction? How
do we know that?
Is that expectations?
Yeah, it is all part of the expectation management, I think. It's an absolutely key part of any start of any project, is to manage those expectations. What do we bring to the pot, and what do we want out from a relationship with academia or industry? What are we both trying to get out of this? And they may be very, very different, but as long as we have, I think, the agreement what they are about, we can manage that.
If we're now looking at perhaps another field, spotting winners and successful projects, do you like that word, winning, success? Or perhaps that's a really short-term goal. Perhaps the longer-term goal, we don't know what the rewards are going to be.
I would say with my consultant hat and Stewart Associates hat, often I'm asked for, I need a solution, I need it now. So quick fix, quick in the moment is what is needed. I think the translation is, for me as even a consultant, then academic, is actually what's the long-term benefits here. We need to talk to that. But actually I might need to phrase it in what can work for you now to get their buy-in, their quick. Yes, they're wanting a quick fix. So they want a quick answer in a way to a challenge or problem they have. And can I solve it now in a way?
Well, as an associate, you've got this special, if you like, perspective on these two opposing forces, academia and industry. What does industry want and what does academia want?
Academia, I think, wants, from my perspective, academia wants a place to trial their concepts, I think, maybe one starting point, a base to do qualitative research in. So often we're looking for industrial partners to be able to trial, research, get good data. Another piece, what do industry wants? They want answers. I think they want some answers or some tools that enable them in terms of their process, their thinking, to advance their challenges here and now, but also I think there is some long-term going on, but certainly they want solutions. And it's that translation from conceptual, as I see it in academia, to industrial needs here and now is sometimes problematic, because I think there's two languages being spoken. One is long-term, one is short-term. One is short bullet points, another is more conceptual. And it's trying to have that translation, I often see, is the hardest bit. And I think where I sit in the university, and also as a consultant, we're that conduit sometimes, taking ideas from industry into university for further research and vice versa, taking ideas out and trying to convert it into a language that my clients can understand.
Revelations. Do you think, are they eureka moments? Are there moments when you think, yeah, these relationships are working, these people are really gelling and working together?
What would they be? Gosh, I'm trying to think when they...
Or is structure important?
I think there is some structure, because my words now, a bit like herding cats, academics in a way, very hard to pin ideas and people down. So sometimes actually putting some structure in might seem to inhibit, but I think also gives a sense that all of us can come together, industry and or academics in that sense. Even today, managing, facilitating the day to day, for example, actually having some structure, some boundaries, some timelines, gets focus in there, and that focuses the academics as also focusing the people from industry. So yes, structure, I would say, is some key in there. And I think those eureka moments are when suddenly the industrialists suddenly understand what that conceptual idea means, and they can translate it into something, an experience. And again, the academics, for me, is suddenly understanding how their ideas are being used within industry, suddenly seeing the possibilities. And those are, I would say, are eureka moments.
And what about managing these private and public information sources, because they are sensitive? That can be problematic. It's been a tricky path, hasn't it, with some projects?
As in IP, as in...
Yes.
Yeah. It is. I mean, in a sense, it's a very sensitive area. Should we, even the conversations at the moment are, should we be giving this IP for free or not? And that's a sensitive issue, I think, in academics, because one isn't necessarily, the business model isn't selling the IP, whereas in industry, perhaps it is. And how do we share it? But also when you're collaboratively working, as we have been on the Katie box, it's about the sensitivities of the different businesses and industries involved, and how much do we want to share and allow to be shared amongst us, let alone to the outward world, if we're to make this available to all. How do we get around some of that sensitivity in terms of intellectual property, certainly.